vote for. Next, I'll be moving to an extension of my analysis of American Exceptionalism. Next, I'll be talking a little bit about ontology and its bearing on the ballot today. Then, I'll be first comparing the negatives alternative to American Exceptionalism and the affirmatives alternative. And then I guess you could call the last 2 points distinct voters on the round.
How many rounds?
If you're flowing, stretch your fingers. This could get rough. Ready, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
I find it all too fitting that he begins by talking about Rage Against the Machine, a bunch of stoners from California that jump up and down and pretend like somehow they've walked away from America when they're really just getting rich off a multinational record corporation. Kyle and I agree on a key point in today's round, and that is the problematic nature of American exceptionalism and the need to confront and deal with this problem the best way possible. To that end, I argue that the essential question, in fact the only question in today's round, is which debater gives you the best possible chance of solvency against the systemic ongoing ideological impacts of American exceptionalism. First, I'll extend my analysis of American exceptionalism. Go to observation 2 sub B. American exceptionalism is something we can't escape because it is bound up in the very language we use. That's my thrift evidence. This means if American exceptionalism is a delusion, as Kyle argues, then at best it's a sort of folie du. And if my usage of French confused you, I've kind of proven the point. Next, to observation 3 sub A. American exceptionalism is the very basis of the debate activity. Thus, the failure to critique the activity just further reifies the harmful ideology in education. That's my first piece of spotters evidence. But perhaps most importantly, go to my observation 4. My Algebra evidence 3 says that the real root problem of all harmful ideologies is the dualistic ontology of Western thought. So let's talk about ontology because it's a disadvantage to voting negative. The first important point here is that Kyle is firmly rooted in the dualistic ontology. He describes American exceptionalism as an external philosophical object from all of us supposedly autonomous philosophical subject. Guess what? Descartes was straight up wrong. We ain't a bunch of Cartesian cogitos. I think, therefore I am, makes zero sense. As Nietzsche put it, perhaps we ought to say it thinks, period. A schizophrenic can't just say, screw schizophrenia, I've had enough and suddenly be cured. If you don't believe me, go watch A Beautiful Mind. In the same way, you can't just say, oh, I'm done with American exceptionalism and walk away from it. What's worse is go to my observation 2 sub A. Kyle says the ethical stand against American exceptionalism masks the real ontological questions we should be asking, and that's my Popke evidence. So then, how do our competing alternatives against American exceptionalism look when we think about everything that I've extended? Kyle plays like Nancy Reagan and tells you to just say no, kids, and that won't work. Makes you feel like you are absolved of your wrongdoing and your complacency with American exceptionalism, but nothing will be changed. You are still the ideology. It is still you. It is still a part of the words you use. It is still a part of the reality you participate in. Kyle's like the preacher that tells his flock to stamp out sin without ever reminding them that they are damned to always sin and sin again because it is their nature. You can vote negative, you'll feel good about yourself, but you won't have asked the more important questions you should be asking. Let's look at the affirmative alternative. I argue you accept the fact that you are American exceptionalism. That's bad. My alternative is the borderlands as described by Gloria Azaldúa. That's my observation 4. She says that the borderlands, individuals and groups accept that they are partially made up of the odd acceptances they seek to reject and negate, and that such an acceptance of one's own confused and conflicted being is key to getting at the really important problems of ontology and dualism. Now we're on to something. To be or not to be is not the question because we are, perhaps instead, what is be and how does being be and what does being mean and being do? Let's stop asking what to do and start asking what we are. If I win, the rethinking ontology is key to solvency in this round. You have to go to affirmative because I'm the only one claiming to solve ontological issues. And go to observation 3 subpoints B and C. I'll win that a revolution in debate is key to changing education and thought. Otherwise, American exceptionalism just keeps reproducing. That's my second piece of Spanos evidence. Furthermore, your ballot today is key. This means that even if Kyle wins that education matters, the only real way to solvency of those impacts is changing debate first. Finally, go to the very top of my affirmative case. Before Kyle tells you in his next speech that it's unfair for me to affirm the resolution in a non-affirming way or that I'm cheating, notice that he functionally concedes my entire observation 1, which gives you 2 distinct reasons why on this topic is the affirmative I get to do really, really shady, not fair stuff. But guess what? If it seems like it's weird that I'm saying I get to do unfair stuff in the name of fairness, I can't help it. I'm an American.